Good morning. It is Sunday morning, August the 25th, and we are going to be setting out on our next hike today. We are in Leavenworth, Washington. We drove over last night, and just outside of Leavenworth is one of the most popular hiking areas in the country. We are going to be heading up into an area that's called the Enchantments, and there are several trailheads that will take you up into the Enchantments. This area for overnight hiking is by permit only, and you have to apply via a lottery in the spring of the year. We applied back in last February and were fortunate enough to get a permit that allows us to camp in an area that they refer to as the snow zone. And the snow zone is accessible via the Natal Lake Trail in Leavenworth. Yes, I know the Snow Lake Trail we were at last weekend, but that is a different Snow Lake. That one was in the Alpine Lakes Wilderness of Snoqualmie Pass. This is the Snow Lake Trail in the Enchantments, and Snow Lake again is where we'll be camping tonight. But we start off here in Leavenworth. This hike is quite a bit more severe than what we did last weekend. Today we will be traveling approximately 7 miles, and we will be climbing approximately 4,500 feet in that 7 miles. As you can see, we're going to be going up over the top of this face to get to where we're going to be going. So very excited to see this area. This is a first time for us, and we'll be bringing you footage all along the way. We are just approaching the 2-mile mark. I'm not sure how much elevation we've covered at this point, but when I'm done, I have my GPS tracking us, and we'll be able to tell what the elevation was that we covered. The really nice thing about the trail this morning is that we are hiking on the shade side of the hill, and I suspect it's going to reach about 80 degrees over here today in Leavenworth. But at this point in time, we probably won't get up into the sun until we make it through that passage. That's kind of where we're heading, is up in that direction. It's gorgeous. As I said, the trail is fairly clean, makes it easy for walking. All right, we'll talk to you soon. We are now at mile 3 on the trail. All right, we're here at the 4-mile mark, headed up the Snow Lake Trail up into the Enchantments. We've been traveling about an hour and a half now at this point, and we probably still got that to go to get up to where our destination is, where we'll be setting up camp. As you can see, we're passing through the woods in this area, but we will be clearing out of those and headed up into some open areas once we clear the top. So we'll catch you farther up the trail. Okay. At this point in time, it's about 10 minutes after 12. We started our hike at about 8:45 this morning, and we have traveled approximately 7 miles, and we have climbed roughly 4,000 feet. And we are Now within about a quarter mile of where it's going to start to level out, and we'll get to the first of a series of 3 lakes, Natal Lake and Little Snow Lake and Big Snow Lake, or Upper Snow Lake. So from the 7-mile mark approximately, we are quickly approaching some level ground in our destination. So we'll see you soon. All right, we have reached the first of a series of 3 lakes on this trail. The trail comes down and around here, what is called Natal Lake, and the trail is going to continue alongside Natal Lake and up to Lower Snow Lake and Upper Snow Lake. It really is beautiful. We are on the trail between Natal Lake and Lower Snow Lake, and there's obviously a dam on the end of Lower Snow Lake, and it happens to be open today. This plume is the water that comes down and feeds all the way back down into the river down by the parking lot. Becomes the Wenatchee River. That's Natal Lake right there. So we're climbing again now to get up to, Upper Snow Lake. We're going to be climbing right up over that clearing there. Once again, we're in the snow zone of an area called the Enchantments near Leavenworth. We're on the trail up above Natal Lake, which was down there, and we've got one last little climb here again from Natal Lake to get up and over the top right there and get up to the Snow Lake, where we will be setting up camp. This morning we are climbing up this wall to get up into the next zone, which is the Lower Enchantment zone. We don't have a permit to camp in the Lower Enchantment zone, so we have to go in and out on the same day. But from here you can see the lake, and that's right where our camp was last night, right there on the lake shore. And we are going to be headed back there yet today in order to break down camp and hike back to the car. It was 10 miles to that lake spot yesterday. It's about 3 miles or so straight up this hill this morning, and it's about 9:30, so a little ways to go, and then we'll be into what's called the Lower Enchantment zone. So we'll see you when we get over the top. Okay, here we are at Upper Snow Lake. We got into a little bit of rain, and weren't necessarily planning for that, but it's here. So it could be a wet and soggy evening. We'll see. But it is gorgeous. We are just shy of my GPS went dead, so we're somewhere between 9 and 10 miles at this point in time to get to where we're at. we're going to now try to find our place to set up camp. Talk to you soon. We've made it to the top of the pass here. Stopped and had a little bit to eat. Back down to camp now. Get packed up and 3-mile hike back down to camp and then 10-mile hike back to the cars. 15 miles we've got